White Zombie would have a volatile career, being together for nearly a decade and a half before imploding. I've done a whole video on the history of the band, the link is down below. Throughout White Zombie's history, they had a number of drummers come and go, and one of the more high-profile drummers was Phil Buerstatte, who played on their tour for their breakout album 1992's Sexercisto Devil Music Volume 1, and on the tracks Feed the Gods for the Airheads Soundtrack, their Black Sabbath cover of Children of the Grave, and I Am Hell from the Beavis and Butthead soundtrack. Buerstatte also played drums for the Wisconsin progressive groove metal act Last Crack for over a decade in the 80s and 90s. According to White Zombie frontman Rob Zombie, Buerstatte dealt with substance abuse issues during his time in the band, and that led to his departure. In his years after playing with White Zombie, there wasn't a whole lot of information of what the drummer was up to, or even photos of him, which likely led to what happened next. In September of 2012, Metal Sucks would report that police in Sausalito, California, arrested a man named Lauren Breckenridge who was impersonating Buerstatte. The man was arrested after attempting to pay for a 4-week stay in a rehab facility with a fake check. Breckenridge had outstanding warrants in Minnesota and Florida for similar crimes of trying to impersonate a rock star at several rehab facilities. He was also convicted of other crimes, including vehicle theft. What made the story even stranger is that the police didn't really know whether Breckenridge was the former White Zombie drummer, as they didn't know whether Buerstatte was a stage name for Breckenridge or not. Given that Buerstatte lived a quiet life after White Zombie, it was difficult for police to confirm the man's identity. A sergeant for the Sausalito Police Department would issue a statement that read, "He would show up and tell people he was this rock star and needed treatment. In all my years of police work, I've never seen a case like this, someone defrauding rehab centers." But the story doesn't end there. In May of 2013, news came out that the real Phil Buerstatte had died in his sleep. That was enough evidence for the police to convict the man of impersonating the drummer. Lauren Dean Breckenridge, who was 43 at the time, received a total sentence of 3 years and 4 months, but only the first 16 months were for jail time. But the story doesn't end there. Following the news of Buerstatte's death, Rob Zombie would take to Facebook and post a memorial which was later removed that read, "Well, I heard rumors of this a few days ago, but I wasn't sure if they were true or not. But it seems one of our former drummers for White Zombie has died. Phil Buerstatte, who was in the band for about 2 years, 1992 to 94, was found dead this weekend. Phil was a very troubled guy during his time with us, and I never really knew what happened to him after he left the band. The few stories I heard were not good." But the story doesn't end there. Breckenridge was also found at one point to be impersonating actor Lauren Dean from Say Anything and Enemy of the State, maybe because they both shared first and middle names. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. We'll see you again in Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.